Roll call. Roll call is where you're going to say your name out loud. But before we do that, we're going to use our hands, okay? I'll get started and we'll go around and it'll be your turn eventually. So let's go ahead and get started. Ready and roll call. My name is my name is roll call. My name is my name is roll call. My name is Javier. Can you say Javier?
Javier!
All right, we're gonna go around this way. So here we go. Ready and roll call. My name is my name is roll call. My name is my name is roll call.
My name is Brian.
Brian! Woo! Here's your turn. Ready and roll call. My name is my name is roll call. My name is my name is roll call. Great, so that's roll call. Let's try it one more time, okay? But this time we're gonna try it without stopping. Just kind of go a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Here we go. Roll call. My name is my name is roll call. My name is my name is roll call. My name is Javier. Roll call. My name is my name is roll call. My name is my name is roll call.
My name is Brian.
Roll call. My name is my name is roll call. My name is my name is roll call. Hey. Roll call. Hello everybody, welcome again. We are very happy to be with you. And we learned a little bit about from the previous video. We talked about rhythm and repeated patterns. We talked about some of the percussion instruments, things that you can shake, things that you can scrape, or things that you can strike. So we're very happy about now introducing a new musical term for you, and this is called dynamics. Dynamics. Can you say dynamics?
Dynamics.
Dynamics. So what are dynamics? Now I'm going to talk about the different kind of voices that I have. For example, if I was talking to Brian like a normal conversation, I say, "Hi Brian, how you doing?" "I'm good, good." So we're having a normal voice. If I was using my singing voice, I'd say, "Hello, Brian." Hello. And I'd be using singing voices. If I were outside in the park, "Come over here," I'd be doing my shouting outside voice, right? Now in music, we use similar kinds of dynamics to be able to express even further what we want to be able to play on these percussion instruments. There are four main parts, and we're going to explain them as we go along. So Brian, would you like to play a rhythm for us to get us started?
I will.
All right.
Here we go.
That's wonderful. So what's that beautiful instrument that you're playing on and playing a rhythm? Can you explain to us what you're doing there?
This is called a conga drum.
Conga drum. Okay.
And I'm playing tumbao. It's a rhythm, one of the many rhythms that you can play on the conga drum. And I'm using my hands, so it's an instrument that we play using the S strike. I'm striking the drum with my hands.
Awesome. So instead of using a stick like what I have here, a drumstick, instead of using it on the drum this way, you're using your hand. Awesome. Now, the rhythm that you're playing, the tumbao, it was a very comfortable rhythm. So can we play it one more time, and then I'm going to use some hand gestures to bring down the volume, or maybe even bring up the volume, and we'll talk a little bit about how to use the dynamics for that.
Here we go.
Okay. Now notice it is a quieter rhythm, okay? He kept the same tempo. It's the same speed. It did not slow down. It is the same tempo. We call that a steady beat. But for dynamics, we're playing the music softly. This is music that is played softly. There are many instruments that can be played softly. For example, violins would be able to play very, very softly. and they cannot play very, very loudly like they could with maybe a drum or maybe a big tuba or maybe some trombone sounds that can be very, very loud. So in this case, he's playing softly. So the first thing we're learning right now with dynamics is the dynamic of playing something very, very soft. Okay, awesome. Now, here's another drum. Okay, this is a drum that I'm going to be using and striking it with this drumstick. Okay, we're going to create a different rhythm. So, how about we play a rhythm that's going to be loud? So we're playing music very loudly. And the conductor would raise their hands up very, very high to increase the volume. This is like if you were out in the park yelling out and using your louder voices, this is the type of sounds that you would want to play. So I would play something like this maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we played softly, we played loudly, and then we're going to play
fast.
How about fast? So there's lots of things that are played fast, especially when you're watching a movie, for example, and the music is very, very fast. There might be a scene that somebody's chasing or running or something that's great, or there's a driving scene with cars running really, really fast. The music would also be played very, very fast that way too. So we're going to play the rhythms, same exact ones, but now we're going to play them fast.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm sure Brian got really tired after that one. He was playing really, really fast. Okay, so the good thing about playing music is that there's many different ways to create and be very expressive. If at home you have an instrument, you're playing along, you can try to play these dynamics with us. You're going to use it and play it softly. You're going to use them and play them loudly. And in Brian's case right now, he played it very, very fast. The important thing was to maintain the same steady beats. In other words, he didn't play it slow, going very, very fast. So it's played the same. And that's what we like to try to do in music, especially if we were trying to create a rhythm and a pattern. Now, dynamics is how you're going to be playing that rhythm. And so far we talked about 3 of them, and now we're going to talk about the last one. And the last one was played, the opposite of fast would be slow. So we're going to play the music very, very slow. Don't be confused with slow and softly. So they're very distinct. You can play them differently. Right now we're only going to focus on playing the music slowly. So now I'll do my rhythm slowly. And I know I mentioned this before in the last video that you have a rhythm inside yourself, which is the heartbeat. What would your heart be like if you were just waking up early in the morning? Your heartbeat would be very, very slow. Now, what if you were running around in the park and then you had to stop all of a sudden and you would notice that your heartbeat would be very, very fast? Correct. Now, the other thing is to figure out what would be playing something that would be very, very loud. And I mentioned about the instruments as well. So think about some of the instruments at home and in your mind, think about what are instruments that could be played very, very loudly. The first that comes to mind for me would be a trumpet. A trumpet would be a very loud sound to play.
Electric guitar.
An electric guitar, yes, the electric guitar would be a very, very loud sound. And the unique and interesting thing about electric guitar is that it needs power. You need a cable, it needs to be connected, and it creates a very much loud sound. It's different from an acoustic guitar, where it's made out of wood and there's nothing that's connected inside, and so it just vibrates the strings, and that's how we're able to listen to the sounds. And at home, you can think about other instruments that would be played softly or loudly. Maybe share with somebody that you can let them know what are some of the instruments that you think are loud or soft. Okay, everybody, so now that you're noticing we have a couple of sticks on our hands, and what's going to happen here is we're going to demonstrate what a conductor would be doing. Let's say, for example, in front of musicians, they would be conducting the tempo and the volume and when to come in and how to play the music. Whereas I would be, as a musician, playing the instrument that I'm learning how to play, or the instrument that I've dedicated lots of time to practice to make it and play it as perfect and beautiful as possible. So in this case, Brian's going to be the conductor. I'll play the rhythm. Okay, at home, you can try to follow along. So you'd be playing the rhythm at home, and I'll follow Brian. Now, let's explain what we're going to do. With his right hand, okay, he's going to be keeping track of the tempo. That means on how fast or slow the music needs to be played. Okay, so he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's down, and that's how we'd play the rhythm. Keep it going. So I'd be playing. Okay, keep it going. Awesome. So that's keeping track of the time. I'll follow that. He's going to control tempo. If he wants me to go faster or slower, he's going to control it here. That's controlling the dynamics of the song. With his other hand, he's going to control the volume, whether he wants us musicians to play really loud or to be also bring it down to play softly. So we're going to practice a little bit. I'll play a rhythm, and he's going to be conducting how I should be playing that rhythm.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Awesome. So it was a little tricky to follow along, and as you notice at the very end, he closed off for us to finish. So as a conductor, they would close off so that we can finish playing the music.
Everybody stops at the same time.
Correct, at the same time. And the same thing would happen for us to begin in the beginning. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we all come in. So that would also be explained before we start the rhythm. So this is having to do with what's called dynamics. Fast or how slow, how loud or how softly you should be playing those rhythms. This is some of the dynamics that we use on the instruments that we play. We also talked about some of the wonderful instruments that are naturally going to be played loud, and some instruments that are naturally going to be played soft. And there's many different ways of playing rhythms and using dynamics to be able to play that.
And when you don't have a conductor and you're just playing with your friends or by yourself, you get to decide how fast or slow or loud or quiet you get to play.
So this next part, we're going to just play along. We're going to have a rhythm, and you're welcome to join us. And we're going to try different rhythms and dynamics out to see how this goes.
Clap your hands, grab the instrument that you have at home. All right, so here we're going to play along with us, and you can watch for me. I'm going to how fast we go, how loud or how quiet. All right, and play along with us. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
you do?
Awesome. Very good.
So again, we talked about wonderful things. We talked about dynamics and the 4 parts to dynamics, which are very important on how we're going to play the rhythms and patterns that we're combining and learning and putting all together. So remember that if you want to learn a little bit what rhythm was and what percussion are, revisit the first video, and this is following up, and stay tuned for the next one, because we're going to get much more involved with percussion and rhythm.
See you in the next one.